Parents, let's talk about why healing from trauma actually protects your kids online. And remember to stick around to the end because I always leave tools, resources, advice, tips you don't want to miss. So here's the thing, we have an obsession with only focusing on parental controls or parental monitoring or tech, or am I tech savvy enough, or do I know everything about protecting kids online? Maybe I shouldn't say like obsession, but we have a lot of focus on that versus a lot of focus on healing from trauma, therapy, connecting with your kids on a heart and soul level. And I believe that is the real true foundation of protecting your kids online. One of the biggest blockers that prevents parents from authentically cultivating a strong relationship with their kids is their past trauma and not healing from that trauma and not dealing with that trauma and not going to therapy or at least starting their healing journey. All of us have not made it out of childhood without some type of trauma, whether it's trauma with a lowercase t or trauma with a capital case T. We've all been through something happened, even if you don't think you did, something happened that changed the course of your childhood and then changed how you saw the world, how you saw yourself, how you saw the future, and honestly, everything. Realize as human beings how important the way that we think, the way that we operate, the experiences we had as a child, as a teen, as an adult affects the course of our lives. Even the past generations, your parents, your grandparents, that still lives in you. The trauma and the experiences that they have had, that gets passed down. I highly recommend you check out a book called It Didn't Start With You. It delves really deep into this topic. I'm not an expert in this topic. However, I've read the book and I've read similar books, and it really details how important this whole lineage is as it relates to your experiences and your life in general. Like, what does this have to do with protecting kids online? That's like the main thing I get. Like, what does this have to do with anything, right? Well, think about it like this. When you're going to therapy and you're starting to understand the experiences you went through and you're making sense of it, you realize that the way that you are talking to yourself, interacting with yourself, making space for yourself, that means holding space for your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings, your experiences, whatever it is, and giving grace to it, meaning you're not judging your thoughts. You're not judging your opinions. You're not judging what you're doing. You're looking at it and going, interesting. I wonder why I said, did, thought, felt this way. And when you do that, the way that you interact with yourself and your kids starts to make sense. And then you realize that, the reason why I was triggered by what my kids said, or the reason why I have a lot of control issues as it relates to my kids, the reason why I feel the need to spy on my kids without them knowing is because I'm really, really afraid. And something happened, whether it's just you being a parent because you're really worried about your kid and there's a crazy, dangerous online world, because that's the whole thing, right? But there is a spectrum of the extreme. There's one extreme of like, I can't deal with anything, I don't care about anything, whatever, do whatever you want to do, just get out of my face. And then there's another extreme of like, I have to know every single tiny thing that you're doing, every single thought and feeling that you have, I have to know, and I feel the need that I need to control everything in your life. So those are two extremes, and what we want is like a healthy harmony in the middle. I don't like to say balance because when we say balance, we think 50% here, 50% there. Balance is not 50, it is 50%, but when you focus on that, you lose the bigger picture. Everything is about harmony and a holistic view. So when you're looking at yourself and your lives and your triggers and your feelings and your thought, when you start healing yourself, when you start going to therapy, when you at least start your healing journey by reading books or following certain accounts or thinking deeply about things and wondering about things and figuring out why did I start acting this way, it allows you to develop the self-reflection, the self-introspection that you need to understand why you're reacting to certain things as it relates to online safety and security. When you start to better connect with your inner child, with your inner teen, you start to heal that inner child and heal that inner teen so that when you're talking to your child and when you're talking to your teen, you're talking to them as a human being, as a soul unto themselves. They are their own human being, and you view your role with them as a guide. You don't believe that you own that person. You don't believe that you have to control that person. You know that your role in their life is to connect with them and build them a pathway and make it easier for them to navigate the online space, the offline space, and life in general. This is how healing yourself protects your kids online, because one of the main things is your connection with your kid. No matter how many parental controls or parental monitoring you have, or how good it is, or how how they probably can't circumvent it or go around it, even though they probably can, right? It's most likely that can happen, right? You still need to connect with your kids, because even if you have all the bells and whistles, they can go to a friend's house, they can go to school, they can go somewhere, and they're going to see something, interact with something that you did not want them to interact with. So they need to know the tools and the methods and the guide to go through those experiences and come out whole, healed, healthy person. This is basically, of course, if you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, hopefully you're subscribed, because all we talk about is safety for kids. And if this is something that you're interested in, you want to learn how to protect your kids online, then make sure you're subscribed and you hit the like button so that more parents are seeing the videos and they can learn how to protect their kids as well. But if you've been a part of this channel for a while, you know I talk about holistic online safety all the time. This is one of the foundations of holistic online safety, is healing yourself, going to therapy, going on a healing journey so that you can better protect your kids online, because by protecting your kids in that way, that means that you've connected with them on a soul and human level. I would love to know your thoughts about healing from trauma, healing your inner child, your inner wounds, healing intergenerational trauma, not passing on trauma to your kids, and how you believe that relates to protecting your kids online in your personal life. This foundational principle is also why I believe that you do not have to be tech savvy, nor do you need to know everything about social media or security or safety or gaming to protect your kids online. Is it extremely helpful? Yes. Do you need someone to guide you through the steps so that you can implement certain things? Yeah, that's why I'm here. But at the same exact time, you don't have to know every single thing. You just need a village behind you. You just need someone to support you through the journey. You don't have to particularly know every little tiny thing yourself. If you're using parental controls, you should check out my video on parental controls only work under these conditions. I do not believe any parent should be using parental controls or parental monitoring until you understand the concepts that I have outlined in that video that's coming up right now.